I really feel fulfilled when we read stories about people that other magazines don't talk about, that I don't see in the mainstream news or I don't see anywhere on social media. I am Dexter. I'm the editor-in-chief of Scout Magazine.
As an editor-in-chief, what is Scout Magazine to you?
Scout Magazine to me is the space where I can be as creative as I want. For me, it's a blank slate where I can do anything what I set my mind into. But it also has its own set of rules based on its history. So it's like a kid that grew up and now I'm taking care of it.
How would you best describe your industry in the Philippines?
The publishing industry is kind of in flux, which means it's also an exciting time for content creators everywhere. A lot of people have lost jobs and a lot of magazines have folded, but it just means that the desire of the people or the consumers, or in this case the readers, have shifted.
What makes Scout Magazine stand out in your industry?
Our business model is different. Under Hinge Inquirer Publications, no one pays for our magazines except for some choice titles. Content that we tackle and how we tackle it. We take a lot of inspiration from independent European magazines, and we also take a lot of inspiration when it comes to our voice from a lot of platforms in the States.
Who or what inspired the creation of Scout Magazine?
It started with Hinge Inquirer Publications. The first editor-in-chief was Kaya Subihan, and she wanted it to be more like a rookie magazine by Tani Garrison. So she wanted it to be a little bit niche, a little bit cute. But now it's a different beast altogether. The root is still the same. The inspiration would be siguro the growing middle class and the growing millennial middle class mindset that gave way to a lot of things in other countries way back.
What are the different departments that work hand in hand to produce quality magazine issues for the company?
Would you believe that Scout is only worked on by 4 people? So it's me, this editor-in-chief, we have Brian, the designer, the graphic designer, and then we have Nina and Rojin, who are the editorial assistants for the magazine.
What is Scout Magazine's objective as a company?
Scout Magazine really is about a magazine for the youth and by the youth. Actually, I'm the oldest person who works in Scout. I'm 23. The youngest would be, I think, 21. So we are our own audience. It's really about giving a voice to the youth and giving a voice to the generation, not just for the millennial generation, but also for the upcoming you guys, Generation Z.
What's one piece of advice you can give to the youth who aspires to be part of the publishing industry?
Be a multi-hyphen. It's not just enough for you to be a writer, it's not just enough for you to be a photographer or a designer. You also need to learn a lot about different aspects of the job of publishing. But as a creative, I think that comes natural to you. So these are all tools or skills that you can utilize for you to express your thoughts or for you to express this certain concept. There's also knowledge or there's also skill in using all of these mediums para ma-communicate mo yung concept mo well.
Hi, I'm Nina. Hi, I'm Rajan. We're good at junior content creators or editorial assistants, whatever you want.
How do you know what article ideas to pitch?
So, we have our daily pitches since we do web and we do print as well. For web pitches, usually it's what's trending right now or like what everyone is reading, what's the current issues, because Scout is really vocal about activism and what's happening around the country.
A lot of, I'd say, opinions as much as possible. It has a lot of it's personal experiences, and in journalism, usually they don't want that. But I guess with Scout, it's encouraged that you voice out your own opinion and then see what happens.
We want to discover underground cultures, subcultures around the metro, maybe even discover new bands, new musicians around Asia and stuff like that.
What is your number one rule you always follow as a writer?
Well, personally, for me, I don't want to write articles that are against my my advocacy. And I guess for me as a writer, I always uphold my advocacy.
For me, I make sure I give a damn, like whatever I write. Like it makes sense, and there's like, I give a damn about this, regardless of whether it's a personal piece or let's say it's an advertorial. I just try to care about it. Because if you don't care about something, then
People won't read it.
people won't read it. At the same time, you won't even do it. Like, tat na rin ka rin. So, just like care about what you're doing. A reader knows when you're bullshitting them. Could I swear on this?
Yeah. Which departments do you frequently collaborate, communicate with?
We collaborate with sales a lot for advertorials.
What is the creative process for your work in your department?
There is a creative process. I mean, Nina always say kanina pa that it is pitching. Because that's your starting point. That's your springboard.
What are some of the struggles that your department may encounter during the creative process?
Deadlines. It's either you work under pressure or you don't. You're never not stressed when you're under publication.
Yeah.
Especially if there's a day na there's just so many things happening all at once. There's like worldwide breaking news, the director does something na naman. You know, those things.
Yeah.
And we're like just the two writers and we're like, oh crap, we have to write so much. I hope the world doesn't end, you know, because I have to write that about that as well. So yeah.
Has anyone approached you to praise your work in Scout Mag?
To be honest, I remain anonymous. And sometimes I would ask Lex to be like, oh, who wrote this? Like, I really love this. Like, it really reflected on my situation right now. It really helped me.
It wasn't personal, but someone like personally emailed me to compliment me about my piece. My opinion piece was about like body shaming, and she was like, "Oh, this really reflected my situation right now and made me feel more confident. I hope you keep writing." And yeah, that was my first fan. Yeah.
Let's see.
Hi, I'm Brian Sochaising and I'm the designer for Scout Magazine.
As a layout artist, what are the trademarks of Scout Magazine and how does it stand out?
I think everyone knows that it's a bunch of like really pop out colors, a lot of contrasting colors, a lot of unorthodox way of layouting basically. For Scout, it's more of like, as I said earlier, unorthodox, so we tend to just like eyeball it and see if it like works, and then if we like it, we're gonna go with it, and then we're gonna fight for that layout.
In line with the previous question, have these trademarks been used from the start?
They had a lot of collaging, and then they used that technique a lot. And then I think throughout the issues and how it evolved, they still like have the same aspects, but in like they filtered it more and made it more clean basically. Like design-wise, it's definitely grown, but it's grown from being like messy organized to being
Messy good.
yeah.
In the good way, yeah, I understand. Which departments do you frequently collaborate and communicate with?
We collaborate a lot with marketing and sales. Sales being where we do most of our ads. So for me, like being the graphic artist or like doing most of the graphic and artwork is I do art for sales. And then for marketing, it's more of like how we it's us communicating with them on how they market us.
Next is, what is the creative process for your work?
I tend to wing a lot of stuff, like basically throwing stuff out there and then trying to see if it works. Like I said, I eyeball it. I legit eyeball it. I just like close one eye and then just like, if this looks good. If it looks good to me, I'm gonna see layout wise, because there's still some restriction layout wise that we really have to do, so it's readable and everything and all those rules. So I do what I like and then I filter it out.
What are some of the struggles that you may encounter during the creative process?
I hate oh sorry, I can't curse. But yeah, I hate art like being blocked. It's that like you spend like hours of like just staring at the yeah, and then you don't know what the hell to do. Like you changed it every way that you can, but it still doesn't look good, and it's still not up to your standard. You feel like a trash of a human being. I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna get fired tomorrow. But usually what helps though is really just stepping out of it. Like to get out of this whole environment. And when I come back, it usually it's better than like how I started.
How do you think the layout of the magazine affects your years?
I think layout-wise, a lot of people, especially now, they're really into like, you know, like eye candy. Because people are like, image-wise, they like a lot of visually appealing things. That attracts them to be interested in whatever is inside or the content of it. I guess that's how like I see it. For me, I value visuals a lot. You're appealing to a market that like really likes their
The
the visuals well made and like a certain way to certain colors that attract them, certain layouts or something. People really get attracted to like visually appealing stuff, colorful stuff, I guess. But really visual wise, talagang you're gonna be like, oh, parang ano to, solid na cover to parang gusto kong basahin yung nasa loob.
Has anyone approached you to praise your work in some magazine?
I get weirded out too because I'm not used to it. Kasi hindi naman kami nalabas. Hindi naman kami tinutulog sa bus. So, emails are like sa Instagram stories and I reply. And yeah, parang they're just like, anong color palettes mo or how do you lay out or stuff like that or what's the right way to do this and that. I mean, there's rules, but I think it's all about like going past those rules, but still keeping some of them, just so it's for the formality of it, but like just go crazy with it. Just do you.
Like personally, I've had some friends in the music scene. They thank me and they're like, oh, thank you for the write-up. This really reflected on like what I really wanted to do with the album, and I'm happy that someone understands that.
Whatever we write kind of helps like the people, the students, the activists, and even musicians and creatives on their path or molding their craft more. Despite all that stress, I mean, in any creative work, people will always say the pay won't always be good. What really keeps us going, what really keeps creatives going through whatever they're doing is the fact that they could reach people.
Especially for underground artists or underground people or people that don't have the limelight or the light on them or like their voices to be heard. We want to give them the voice or like give them the platform that they need. Especially the artists that really don't get those shots, but are really doing well and are only getting attention through word of mouth. And yeah, we want to give them that spotlight that they truly deserve. And I think that's what makes Scouts so special for me.
One thing I didn't mention a while ago when it comes to Scouts mission would be, I want it to be the authority on what's next. Makes me happy knowing that there are these stories from these marginalized communities or from the peripheries of what we usually see. And then they're so important to me. Seeing that on our pages or seeing that in our website is so, for me, it's kind of cool. It's also very important to me for them to be more known. There are a lot of creatives out there are a lot of good stories out there that I think deserve to be heard. And you know, Scouts is one avenue for that story to be